Welcome to MonsterTrucking.com. Today we're going to give you a simple introduction to the Holley 5200. The basic design for the Holley 5200 was licensed from the Italian company Weber in 1970 based on a carburetor produced known as the Weber 3236 downdraft. The carburetor was simple and highly adjustable, making it a good choice for car manufacturers to install on many 4- and 6-cylinder vehicles at the time. The carb is a basic 2-barrel downdraft design and uses a throttle linkage that progressively opens the secondary after the primary has begun to open. The throttle plates are 32 millimeters on the primary and 36 millimeters on the secondary, which is the same as the Weber 3236. The idle speed adjustment will be a flathead screw located on the throttle linkage. Turning the idle screw clockwise will increase the idle speed, and turning it counterclockwise will decrease the idle speed. In the bottom of the primary side of the carburetor will be the idle mixture screw. Gently turning the screw in will lean the idle mixture, and turning it out will richen the mixture at idle. When leaning the mixture, never crank on the screwdriver as it may damage the seat of the idle mixture screw. The casting is made of two main pieces. The bottom portion of the body houses all of the jetting for the carburetor. The top half is commonly called the air horn or the float bowl cover, and will have the floats mounted to it. Although the throttle plates on the Holley 5200 are 32 and 36 millimeters, the venturi are actually 26 millimeters on the primary and 27 millimeters on the secondary. Some small engine or fuel economy versions will have a 23 millimeter primary. Located above the idle mixture screw on the primary side will be the choke assembly. This choke is a water activated choke. It will require a line in and a line out. This type of choke will only open once the engine coolant has reached operating temperature. Later, an electric assist water choke was developed, including the coolant lines. This choke will also have a wire coming out the back of it that will need to be connected to a strong 12-volt source that will help with opening the choke. Some models came with a manual choke which was connected to a knob in the dash by a cable that the driver had to pull to activate, kind of like you would with a lawnmower. Starting around 1977, some Holley 5200s came with a more modern all-electric choke. Because this choke opens much more quickly and does not require any operation from the driver, it was chosen to help meet new EPA and corporate average fuel economy standards at the time. Whichever choke you may have, at the front of it will be the choke qualify. This is adjusted with an Allen head key and sets the amount of gap in your choke plates when they are closed. At the back of the carburetor, we have the fuel inlet. Some of these will be a replaceable fitting that can be threaded in, and others, like this one off of a Ford Pinto, may be pressed in. Sometimes there will be a mesh screen made in line with the fuel inlet, which can be removed by unthreading this plug, and the screen will drop out so it can be cleaned. Other models may have a removable filter built into the inlet itself, like this one. The accelerator pump will usually be mounted on the primary side of the carburetor, just like many other devices, and will be in between the fuel inlet and the choke. It will be bolted in place by 4 Phillips screws, and is designed to have 2 or 3 volume settings. Installing the pin in the top setting reduces the pump volume, and using the bottom setting increases the pump volume for more performance or for larger engines. From the factory, this pin usually comes in the middle setting. Most Holley 5200s will come with idle jets on both sides of the carburetor body, the primary being on the primary side, and the secondary, of course, being on the secondary side. Some carbs may not have a secondary idle circuit. The idle jets will either be threaded in place, like these, or they will be press fit. The pressed in idle jets are almost impossible to remove and even harder to find replacements for. If you're looking for one in a junkyard and it has pressed in idle jets, I would pass unless if you are after it for spare parts.